Well, you know, with Trump and the Republicans and the pendulum swinging so far to the right, and the erasing of abortion laws, the erasing of Medicaid, uh, and food stamps. I mean, that's the pendulum swinging so far to the right. Uh, Now, you have to not be surprised that the Republicans are using the Democrats they're claiming the Democrats are now communists and socialists. And I'm not denying that there are some candidates out there that are pushing the communist agenda or the socialist agenda, and they've won in some primaries. They haven't won the uh, the general election. They've won the primaries, but a lot of what you're hearing about the Democrats being communists and the Democrats being socialists is the Republicans. It's the Republicans doing that. They're pointing out um, and putting a spotlight and drowning out all the moderates, all the middle people, all the middle Democrats that don't support communism, who don't support socialism, and they're putting the microscope on the people that do, because that helps their cause. That helps their election in November. If they can paint the Democrats as communists, then they can get more votes. They might even get Democrats to vote for Republicans, and and that is their goal. So if they can sway Democrats to vote for Republicans, then they win. And that's what they did in Trump's election. A lot of Democrats voted for Trump. They weren't going to vote for a black woman, and they voted for Trump. And most of them regret it. But when you say that if you vote Democrat, you're voting communist or you're voting socialist, you're not. The country is not going to go communist. The country is not going to go socialist. It's just there's the pendulum on the left. That's where, at the far left, that's where communism and socialism lives. But there's a whole big middle. You know, uh, the next the next presidential election can't be won by a Democrat unless he can get or she can get Republicans to vote for them. Just like Trump won because he got Democrats to vote for him. If all you get is Republicans to vote for you or all you get is Democrats to vote for you, you will lose. You need to cross the line. You need to get people from the opposite side to vote for you. And to fail to do that is to fail to win. And a communist and a socialist is not going to get Republicans to vote for them. It's not going to happen. And that's why I think AOC running for president is a joke. And the Republicans would love, and they're propping her up. The Republicans are propping her up. The Republicans are making her popular because she's a candidate they can beat, and they know it. And why not prop up, you know, if you can beat someone hands down, you would want them to be your opponent because it makes you look good when you win and makes the other side look foolish for putting them up. And that's what they're doing. They're tricking you. They're making you think that the Democrats are doing this, and they're not. The Republicans are doing this. And the time that the center Democrats, they're not getting any airtime because the Republicans don't want someone they can lose to get airtime. They don't want to prop up somebody that's going to beat them. Uh, They're not pushing J.D. Vance because they don't think J.D. Vance can win, and I don't think he can win either. But I hope he runs. I hope he's the nominee because I hope he loses. But I think they're pushing Marco Rubio, and I don't think Marco Rubio can win either. Uh, and I think he's a loser. But they're pushing him because they feel that he's their best option. And he might be their best option, but that doesn't mean he can win. But if they can paint the Democrats as communists and socialists, then Marco Rubio has a real shot and has a real shot of winning. And I think because Marco Rubio is such a weak candidate and is such a loser, that he needs the Democrats to be painted as communists and socialists in order to get those crossover votes. You know, eventually, uh, it's just the center doesn't get the votes, doesn't get the airtime, doesn't get the press because they're not as controversial. When a governor says, governor running or person running for governor says they want to do away with Thanksgiving, like what happened in Wisconsin, you know, that not only gets front page news in Wisconsin, it gets front page news all around the country. And that's why I can say this because I've heard of this because it's in the news, and now we know it's all foolish. Now we know it's not going to happen, but to say something that outlandish lands you on the front page, which is why Trump says a lot of the outlandish stuff he says because he knows they're going to run with it. He knows they're going to print it, and it's going to keep him in the front. And the worst thing Trump can do is get boring and have no story. Every day there's a story from Trump, and there has to be, otherwise Trump will just disappear. And whether he's president or not, he has to be controversial. He has to, when you think an issue is dead, like the Treasury Secretary, and then he brings it back, and he's gonna go after her again, because it brings headlines. You're going after the Treasury Secretary, one of the governors of the Fed, and of course that's going to garnish uh, an article in the paper, and that's his whole goal. He doesn't care about the governor. He doesn't care about the Fed. He just wants the article in the paper with his name in it, and that's the goal. And the same with the Republicans want the person that said no more Thanksgiving. The Republicans love shit like that because it just gives them more votes. It's like, oh, if I vote for the Democrats, we're going to lose Thanksgiving. So I'm going to vote for the Republicans to keep Thanksgiving. And on the basis of that, it's crap because, you know, she's not going to get rid of Thanksgiving in the first place. And second place is the policies that the Republican governor is going to instill are going to be 100 times worse than Thanksgiving. But you're focused on the Thanksgiving issue, and it's just a magic trick. It's a magician. Watch my left hand while my right hand does this. And the left hand is saying Thanksgiving, and the right hand is saying no more unions, no more Social Security, no Medicaid, no welfare. And that's what the right hand is doing, while the left hand is having you focus on Thanksgiving. And that's the magic trick, and that's the BS. And it's been done on you for a long time. And because you're a bunch of idiots, and the hat proves it. You're an idiot. You're all idiots, and that's why you live in such a horrible country. And that's why these politicians get away with what they do because you're idiots. And you know, uh, I wish there was a nicer word for you, but I don't think idiot is really strong enough considering what you are. Considering you voted Trump in, you know. And the people that voted for Trump, I don't care about them. because they're not worth caring about. They're human walking garbage and need to be treated as such. And I would say when the Democrats come back to power, they put a slush fund together and compensate everybody that's been damaged by the Republican Party, by the Trump's presidency. All the ICE people that have been locked up, they should get millions of dollars from the U.S. government for what Trump has done to them, and just give back what was given. And you know, they won't learn from it, but at least people will get some money.